Hey, what's going on, guys? So in this video, I kind of want to go over a little story time I had. I remember I was just sitting down. I was thinking about a moment in particular where I think men don't really understand as far as when it comes to once you build that physique, once you kind of drop that fat, you're ripped or lean, stronger than you ever feel, your facial structure, your overall body recomp, just overall how life is when you're ripped, when you're in shape, just how much people respect, like the respect is the first thing I noticed, especially during my high school years, like it wasn't until my first months where it was like I noticed people's behavior and difference. I went from being scrawny to being known as the gym guy now, and even till this day, people like associate me with the gym, and it's still hard to wrap around my head. Not really now because it's been years, but going when it was like just a few years out, or maybe when I went to college, and now I hear people in my hometown being like, "Oh, the Juma got huge" and all that stuff. It wasn't really something that I was like used to, but it was one of the very first things I noticed through my first few months of actually working out, and noticing the change in behavior and just overall respect. Like, as far as men with respect, it was night and day. And as far as women, it made it easier for you at least to be just in the front of, like, you'll just be one step in already, as far as just like you working on yourself, and your physique showing that, whether it be through your clothes, whether it be the way you speak, how like the standards you hold yourself, you're just how you guys call it, aura, your overall aura, how you really step into the room, and how you're viewed, and how people view you and judge you, whatever the case. But for those particular things, it was something that carried over within even my college days. And I remember this one particular event. We're at my buddy's place outside of campus, at his house. We were just watching a movie, just relaxing. I brought over a friend, another friend from the college, and we're just, just being dudes, just hanging out, chilling, enjoying pizza or something, just watching TV. But I had this one particular friend that I brought with me. At this point, we're going to the gym like relentlessly. Like, I'm talking, he lived closer to campus. I was also living outside of campus. So he'd either drive to me, pick me up. We hit the gym first thing before our like 8 a.m. classes and all that, and vice versa. Either we met up at the gym, but we were going relentlessly. Like, it was just like me and him on a mission as far as just like really achieving the physique, work on fucking legs twice a week, like chest, arms, like really pushing ourselves day in, day out. But there was kind of a thing where there was a girl he liked in particular, and through the time when we were grinding and all that stuff, there'd be a little on and off session. Like he felt like she was giving him signals, but these women sometimes, man, like these mixed signals and all that stuff, you never really know what's going on. But one day he happened to just get invited to her birthday party. It was to be a bunch of them, a bunch of her and her friends, going out to this bar that we know about, and he got invited. So he asked to bring a friend. He happened to pick me. So going back to our boy's spot, we're just kind of chilling there, small talk, enjoying ourselves. We actually tried to invite the guys over, but they're busy. They had to get caught up with like schoolwork and stuff, so it was cool. So me and my boy decided to drive on over there right after we're done hanging out. And, you know, I think we got some fits. We got some fits for sure, you know, right beforehand, like a day before, you know, just kind of checking things out, how things fit and all that stuff. Cause he was still like, I could tell he was still a little, as far as confidence wise, he wasn't too sure because, you know, he really cared about this girl, but at the same time, it was like he was still in the process of learning, like, you know, like, okay, like, how should I dress, you know, carry yourself a standard, you know, all that stuff. I said, yo, look, like, let's grab some fits before this, you know, look clean, look good, you know, because you guys got to just put effort. You got to just put effort when it comes to just like even the places you go at, man. Like, you know, you got to represent, you got to have high standards for yourself. So, you know, like putting shit on, you know, as far as t-shirt, you know, and especially if you go to the gym, man, and it's fitting you right, just like kind of like this t-shirt's hugging me right now. You know, all that stuff is important, guys. You know what I mean? Get a haircut before, make sure you're looking crispy, all that. So we did all that, you know, and now to bring it back, we're driving on our way there. You know, the girl texted him saying, hey, you know, we're over here, all that. So, you know, me and like we started heading over. And me particularly, I didn't even know what was going on. I didn't know as far as who her friends were. All I knew is I'm just going here to support my guy, and I don't know if there's gonna be other guys there for like, you know, her friends, and maybe they had boyfriends and all that stuff. I didn't even know. I was just following along, you know, but I was just showing my moral support. And, you know, we get to this spot. So there's 2 floors, you know, grab a little drink. You know, this is a time when I was not too heavy in drinking, but we had just one, you know, we had 1 or 2, you know, that night as far as there. And then started to chill, talk. I said, yo, let's just enjoy ourselves. So give it a little pep talk before we head up. So we start heading up, you know, and we found them immediately. You know, they're straight ahead, right next to the bar again. So we went over, you know, they talked. My boy introduced me to her, you know, I said happy birthday, all that stuff. And I didn't know anyone particular as far as in her friend group, but in this college, it wasn't really as big. So there was a lot of like familiar faces, and I actually knew like, I knew one of the girls over there. So it was actually like pretty cool. I said what up to her immediately, you know, yada, yada. And overall, you know, the night was going good. You know, we were just small talk. There was no other guys there. It was just straight up me, my homeboy, that girl and her friends. And we're all just chilling, having a good time, you know, enjoying ourselves, talking, all that. And I remember, you know, as the music started getting upbeat and, you know, everyone's dancing and stuff like that, you know, I started dancing with this girl. And the one thing I remember about this girl when I started going to this college actually was it was moments in time anywhere in campus when we're hitting our gym workouts, and like I was hitting my gym workouts, you know, and you know, she happened to be around because I was part of the soccer team as well. So it was like, as being part of the team, but then you start learning friends who are from outside, you know, on campus, stuff like that. You start knowing familiar faces and all that stuff. I remember her in particular. It was always any time when I was in my gym session and she happened to be around, you know, and then obviously as you see the person, you start communicating more. So, you know, we'd frequently say hello to each other and all that stuff. But I always remembered her specific comments when it came to the gym or just my physique. And it was just something where it's like, I think a lot of guys don't like understand when it comes to like when being in shape and being ripped compared to like back when I was in high school, scrawny and stuff like that. I would even think like this would happen, but like, you know, picking up on that sense of like her compliments and bringing it back now to like her dancing on me and all that stuff. And I'm talking like, not just side to side, guys. I'm talking like turn around, grind, and all that, you know. And I particularly knew it was because of the past compliments, you know, and I knew the attraction was high, and vice versa too. Like this, don't get me wrong. Like this girl was very attractive, and if if I were to compare it to that moment back to myself in high school, I don't even think I would even fathom that to even be happening. But you know, it was like very natural. It was like the attraction was high, and I remember even with my guy, he was up there dancing with his girl and all that stuff. You know, just being cool, man. Just, you know, really just enjoying themselves. You know, I know a lot of people, especially your friends, are looking at it like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Like, is she really dancing with him right now? Like, what's going on? And man, it all ties it back. It all ties it back to just putting in the work, waking up early, grinding. You know, little things like picking up some clothing pieces that fit your body like correctly. You know, like, you know, it doesn't have to be too tight, but just enough to really showcase the hard work you've been putting in for months, years. You know, looking sharp, getting a haircut. You know, and he had all that, and he was killing it, man. I'm talking, they were slow dancing. It was up and close, man. I said, hey, you know that little look when you look at your boy, you know, and you're the only ones there. You got a couple girls, and you're just like, okay. But with all that being said, you know, at one moment I had to go use the bathroom, and I was talking to a fella. I think he was on the phone with a girl or something. There was something going on. And I remember just giving a speech, like you always do, bro. When you're a little like buzzed, you know, you're feeling yourself, you know. But and then I was giving this guy a pep talk, and I remember saying, I was like, yo, if this girl doesn't respect your time, if you're doing all this work and she ain't showing no appreciation to that, I said, you gotta say, forget that girl. Fuck her, bro. She don't deserve you. She don't deserve you at all. That was my mindset. That was straight up my mindset in that moment. I was like, if you're doing all this fucking work, whether it comes to the gym, whether it's putting in time, putting in effort, and you take disrespect to anyone, let alone a female, like, guys, you like, fuck that. At that moment, have some self-respect to yourself and be like, hey, look, I don't tolerate this. I don't want, you know, this isn't yelling. You can just be like, hey, look, like, I don't appreciate this attitude. I don't see particularly what I'm doing wrong, but in any case or any matter, just, sorry about that, guys. I had to take care of something, but back to my point, simply walk away. Don't even argue back. Just simply walk away and be like, hey, you know what? Look, I don't have to put up with this shit right now. If we're ready to talk like grown adults, and talk about the situation and actually communicate like in a reasonable way to resolve this issue, then I'm okay with that. If you're not, cool, walk away, fellas. Straight up walk away. And that's what I was telling this dude. Like, yo, go for the ones that respect you, man. That's the only thing these bitches respect, is you being the man that can do it. You to show up, do what's required. They're gonna respect that. But if this girl's bitching at you, complaining, and you're putting in that work, you don't deserve that shit. That's all I was telling them. You don't deserve that. And moments after that, you know, you're feeling high and mighty. I'm over here, you know, washing up my hands, going back to the scene, going back to dance with a chick. It was back to the same energy. There was no time being wasted. She straight up turned around, going down low, all that shit. Crazy. And my boy was getting up and close. I don't know what happened between, but at this moment in time, he was up and close in that. You know, he was doing his thing. And I remember I saw the same dude walking by me. Same dude in the bathroom I was talking to walking by me. And he just dabbed me up with the utmost respect. Like, man, this man was, like, at that moment, it was like, yo, this man is really preaching what he's saying and he ain't bullshitting. And he just gave me daps. And he said, yo, I fuck with this dude, bro. And it's not only, and this is why I bring it back to this point. It's not only about the physique and, you know, getting the women, all that stuff. The respect you get. Like, I always go by this, man. Fuck love. The respect. The respect is what matters at the end of the day. Cause I'd rather a girl break up with me and respect me than her breaking up with me and just being like, yo, this dude's a fucking loser, fuck this man. Fuck all that shit, talking all that shit. Nah, I'd rather a girl. I'd much rather take a girl who'd be like, you know what? I didn't disagree with all the shit like he did and all that. Like, I didn't agree with a lot of things like this dude did. But you know what? At the end of the day, I still respected him because he still did what he needed to do. And, you know, maybe I don't agree with 100% all the things, but, you know, I respect him. I'll take that any day. I'll take that any day over any woman or a guy in particular disrespecting me in front of my face, behind my back, all that. I'll take the respect over the love. Straight up. Same goes with the friends around you. I don't care if what I say is hurtful, as long as it's growing you as a person and it's making you aware enough to know that you need to wake up. Fuck the love. I don't care if you hate me. I don't care if you disagree with what I say at that moment. As long as later on you can see what I was actually trying to help you with, and you give me that respect, that's all I care about. I don't want no fake love around me. With both genders. Always. But, you know, the guy dapped me up, man. And it was just moments of that, of respect. Respect, and be like, and maybe after that night, he'll take on my advice or whatever I told him in the bathroom, and, you know, really apply it. I hope he did. But maybe it's moments like that where he sees it too. Where he sees it right in front of him and he's like, oh man, this man knows what he's talking about. And that comes with it, just a respect. But man, with respect and all this around you, best believe you're gonna have haters. Best believe you're gonna have haters. And take it as a good sign. Take this as a good sign. Don't be like, oh fuck, why people? No. Because you're putting in that work. You're doing it right. And the ones who only hate, it always comes from a place of below. And the reason why I bring this up is because I remember the fact what I told you. It was just me and my boy, and you know, it was just the girl and her friends. That's all that was in that group. But keep in mind, we're in a club, so you know, you got other guys around, circling. Some try to get the other girls, you know, and they were having no time for it. They're rejected immediately. Now they're just seeing two dudes hanging out with these girls, dancing with them in an intimate way. And guys, at a moment, I took a look up. Just take a look up, you know, because I'm paying attention to what's in front of me. I'm liking what I'm seeing. But at a moment, I looked up. I just see dudes hating. Just staring, just hating, bro. Mean mugging. Mean mugging. That's that hate. So with greatness in the physique, as much as it commands respects and attracts women around you, best believe there's gonna be haters amongst that. Best believe there are gonna be haters amongst that. But you shouldn't worry about that, because that's what it comes with it. But it's a good sign, because you can either look at it at a way of like, yo, fuck these dudes, or you can look at it in a way where you can help people, like I did that fella in the bathroom, and show him his self-worth, and show him that him putting in the work should be respected. It should be honored. And he shouldn't tolerate any BS, let alone from a girl. or any dude in particular, man, or anyone. You know, so that's how you got to look at it. You got to look at it as a way of like, yo, you can really inspire and really just show some positive dudes who really want to listen and really want to learn from you, because you represent just that discipline, that hard work, that leadership, you know? So I'm telling you, man, like when it comes to getting the physique and all that stuff, it comes natural, man. You attract the life you want. Not only just women, not only just the respect from fellas, but overall you just attract the life you want. And that's the video for today, guys. If you're new to the channel, like, comment, subscribe. You know, kind of share me your experiences, guys, down below in the comments. Share me your experiences as far as like once you had the physique and how women treated you and how men respected you, man. Throw those down in the comments, man. I want to see all that. But that's all for today, folks. I'll see y'all later. Peace.